at Adelaide. It's Krista here. Thought maybe we could do some yoga together. So everybody who wants to practice, just need to get yourself a chair. And if you're already there, then you can get comfortable just sitting, feet are flat on the floor. I'm feeling heavy in my seat. And I'm sitting up as tall as I feel I can today. My back is not resting against the back of the chair. So that's a way to encourage us to sit up. But do what feels comfortable for you today. Sometimes we need a little support, and that's totally cool. All right. So now that I'm sitting, make sure that I'm sitting with my feet flat on the floor. And I'm just gonna come to a bit of stillness before we start. So I'm gonna close my eyes. You don't have to close your eyes for this. Whatever is comfortable. You could look down slightly at the ground in front of you. But trying to focus in, sort of taking away some distractions. And there will be distractions, that's life. But kind of making your gaze narrow or closing your eyes helps to focus in. All right, I'm going to take an inhale through the nose or through the mouth, and exhale and sigh. Inhale and sigh. Inhale and last sigh. So if you've been practicing with me before, then you'll probably remember me saying that anybody can practice yoga. You don't need special clothing, you don't need to be flexible, you don't need to have done it before. And how I practice yoga in this exact same class may look different than how you practice yoga, and that's really the beauty of yoga. So let's try not to judge ourselves or think that we should look or be a certain way in order to do this. We're just all coming here to move and breathe. There's no right and wrong. There's no way you should be doing anything. Other thing to think about is that I'm just kind of your guide, and so you know best what feels right for you in this moment. So feel free to come into the class after we started, leave the class before we finish. While I'm suggesting things to do, if you decide, no, I don't want to do that today, that's totally great. I actually think that yoga is about us figuring out what is best for us. And so I don't know that, you know that. So definitely do what works for you right now. Okay. So sitting up tall, I'm going to open my eyes. I'm going to inhale, arms up. So just as much as works for you today, I don't want to move into any kind of pain. And then maybe your hands come together and we bring the hands down to the heart. So I'm inhale, sweeping my arms up wherever they land. Exhale, hands come back to my heart. Let's do that again. So inhale, feeling tall as the arms rise, and then as they fall, getting heavier in your seat. So letting gravity really do its work. Last time, inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. And then let's turn our head to the side and come back to center. So just the head. Other side. And back to center. If you feel like you've reached your shoulders up towards your ears, let's try and keep those down as we turn and look. And back to center, and turn and look. And back to center. Nice. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands come to your heart. And now I'm going to turn my entire upper body to the side. And back to center. And then turn to the other side. And back Inhale, arms up, reaching up as tall as you can today. Exhale, hands come to your heart. Nice. Let's drop one hand down, get really heavy, and then opposite ear drops to the shoulder. So arm is pushing down or dropping down on one side, and your ear is dropping down on the other side. This arm can just be resting wherever. And then let's take an inhale here. And exhale, release. And then let's switch sides. So, hand drops, opposite ear to the shoulder. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And we'll release and come back up. Nice. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands come to the heart. Just turning the head to look. And back to center. And then other way. And back to center. Nice. All right. Let's open the arms wide, so I'm like in a T. And careful if you feel like your shoulders are up here. Let's drop them down. And then my thumbs are going to push back. So I'll show you here. My thumbs are going back. So pointing towards the back wall, palms are up, shoulders are down. And I'm just trying to widen my collarbones, okay? Again, this may look different for you. And we're just honoring where we are right now. And then I'm gonna bring my arms towards me and wrap them. So I'm giving myself a hug. And then I'm gonna open and wrap the other way. Nice. And then let's inhale, arms come up. Exhale, hands come to your heart. Okay. Take a look at your feet. I'm widening my knees. My toes are turned out slightly. If this is comfortable for you, then that's great. You can be wider or narrower depending. Wider is good too because it gives me, in terms of my front body, a lot of space to fold forward, okay? So if your legs are together like this, you may not have as much room. You definitely won't be able to go down as far. So I'm keeping my legs wide. All right. Again, sitting up tall, making sure my feet are flat on the floor. My bum is supported on the chair. I'm going to inhale, arms up. So we were doing this already. And then hands come down to your heart. This time we're going to fold forward. And my arms are planting on my thighs. You can also put your hands down onto the mat or onto the ground, but you don't need to do that. So I'm going to stay up here for today. And then I'm going to allow my head to just drop. So I'm letting the floor, the chair, my arms support my body. And let's take a deliberate breath here. Nice. And then I'm going to place my hands on my thighs and press to come all the way up. And I'm just gonna turn my chair, you can stay where you are, just to show you how my back looks when I'm doing that so that we're all doing it safely. So I'm here in my forward fold, and then I place my hands on my thighs so I'm supporting myself, and I push to come up. Okay, so you can see that I'm really just sort of hinging at my hips to come up. And I'm not compromising or loading my spine by rounding up like that, okay? So see how that feels for you. All right, so let's move on with our sun salutation. So we're gonna inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward, allow the head to drop. And then I'm going to inhale and press into one arm and raise the other arm up. And come back. And then press and lift. And come back. And then as we did before, hands come onto the thighs and I use my arms and the strength of my core muscles to bring me back up. Okay, let's try that again. Inhale. Exhale, allow the head to hang. And then inhale, press into one arm, reach the other arm up. And release. Press, lift, and release. And then inhale, I'm going to reach my arms, come all the way up. Exhale, hands come to your heart. Nice. Arms widen, thumbs go back. And then arms come and give us a hug. Just take a couple breaths here. Nice. And when you're ready, we'll release that. I'm gonna lift one leg up if that works. You can either hold on in front of your leg or you can hold underneath your thigh. And I'm just gonna allow the foot to do some circles. And then let's go the other way. You might feel some cracking or clicking, and that's okay. Actually, doing this will help to get the joint working a little bit better. And then let's point and flex the foot. And then I'm going to release that leg. Let's just pick that leg up again. Pretend that it is totally relaxed into your hands. So it's not supporting itself at all. My hands are supporting, my arms are supporting my leg, and then I'm just going to allow it to drop. So for some of us, that might not be something that we want to do if your legs hurt or your foot is hurting, but it can also allow you to have a bit of just like a release. Everything gets heavy. All right, let's try this on the other side. So I'm lifting up, hands either supporting me underneath, supporting me in front. You could also just have your leg out if you want to hold it up on its own. So wherever we are, let's start to circle this ankle. And then circling the other way. And then let's point and flex. And then I'm just going to allow the leg to drop with gravity. And maybe just tapping that out. Great. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to sit back a little bit in my chair. This is one way to do downward dog in the chair. So I'm going to inhale an arm up, and I'm going to pretend that I'm pressing my palm up into the sky. Again, arms up wherever your arms go up. Okay, and look up, press up. I'm going to bring one leg out. If I feel like I can, other leg out. So you can see the bottom of my feet. And then I'm pressing my feet towards the front wall. I'm pressing my palms towards the sky. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. And let's shake that out. Good. Okay. So if you're ready, we're going to stand up. You can also do these things in the chair. You can just focus on the arms. And then if you don't want to use the chair, you don't use the chair when we come to stand, then you know that you can do all of these things and the chair is just there for us to balance. So you can leave your chair facing forward, but I'm going to stand like this so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm coming to stand and my feet are about hip width apart. I'm facing the back of the chair. I'm going to stand tall here. And we're going to do standing what we just did seated, which is a sun salutation, okay? So as I did in the chair, getting heavy, and if you're still in your chair, if that's what you decided to do for our second round of sun salutations, then you can repeat what we just did, okay? So standing up tall, getting heavy in the legs, but getting tall in your spine. You can hold on to the chair for all of this, and I can test my balance by not holding on with one arm or with both arms at any point. All right, so here I'm going to inhale, arms come up. Exhale, I'm going to fold forward. So here my hands are on the top of the chair, but they could also be on the seat of the chair, depending on what you decide you want to do, okay? Most important thing is I'm just letting my neck relax. Okay. And then I'm going to inhale, press into one arm and reach and lift the other arm up. And back down. Press and reach and back down. And then I'm going to inhale, reach my arms all the way up. Exhale, hands come to my heart, and then arms come down. I'm going to step back with one leg. So this front leg is where it was when we started, but this time there's a bend in your knee. My back foot, my back leg, the toes are turned out on an angle, so about a 45-degree angle. So if I was facing you, then my feet would look like this. Okay, so this is the legs for warrior one. All right, so I'm standing here thinking about my whole foot, especially the outer edge of my foot being on the ground. Bend in the front knee. My hips are kind of going off to the side, and that's fine. And then I'm going to inhale, maybe one arm, maybe both arms. And those elbows can bend. If it feels okay in your neck, you can look up slightly. And then inhale, arms come back up, hands come to the chair. And then I'll step forward with that back leg and step back with the other leg. So again, these toes in the front leg are forward, there's a bend in your knee. And then my back foot is out on a 45-degree angle, so toes are turned out towards the side at 45 degrees, and I'm pressing out through that back foot. And then option here to raise one arm, to raise both arms, you decide. Take a breath here, and then exhale, bend the elbows, maybe looking up. And arms come back up to the top, hands come down to the chair, and we step forward, and then we're going to step back to downward dog, and I need to move my chair up a little bit, back to downward dog. Take a couple breaths here, maybe feeling some stretch under your armpits, the back of your legs. You can always have your knees bent to any amount. Try not to lock your knees back. So I have a slight bend. My knees are a little bit soft. Let's take one more breath here. And then exhale. We'll come to the front of the chair. Try that again. Inhale. Exhale. Fold forward. Inhale, come up. exhale, hands to your heart. Hands come to the top of the chair, step back. So same legs as we did before. Inhale, arms up. Hands come down to the chair, step forward, and I'll step back to downward dog. And then I'm going to step forward with the opposite foot, back toes on an angle, maybe both arms, option to keep arms down onto the chair. And then exhale, hands come back, I'll step forward and step back to downward dog. So we're always coming back and returning to inhales and exhales. And then when you're ready, we'll walk back up to the top of the chair. And then let's just shake that out a bit. And if you feel like making some noise, I know, it sounds ridiculous, but that's okay. We're all in this together. Okay, so again, we're gonna do more stuff standing behind the chair. So more standing poses. So let's go into the first one that we've done. So this one's called Warrior One. And then I'm gonna get you to open up. So hands can come back down to the chair while I set the legs. So this time, that back leg, instead of the toes being out at a 45-degree angle, they're now out at a 90-degree angle. So my front toes are going forward, my back toes are going out to the side. Back arm might float up, front arm. Feel like your shoulders are dropping down. And then flip the front palm over. Front arm comes up, back arm comes down. And then I'm going to come back to that position that I was in before. And now I'm going into a pose called side ankle pose. So arm is on the top of the chair. I'm going to reach up and over. Try not to allow your shoulder to come up towards your ear. So I'm pressing down, keeping that length. And then your head can look down, can look at the side, or up towards your fingers. No way is right or wrong. It's just what works for you today. All right. And then we'll come back up to that first position. Windmill the arms, plant the hands, step forward, and step back to downward dog. All right, let's do this on the other side. Now I have to remember which side I did it on. Okay. So, very first position's Warrior One. Now we're moving into Warrior Two. So back toes straight to the side wall, front toes front wall. I'm looking forward, kind of over my middle finger here. And then flipping the palm, back arm runs down the back leg. Stay bending into that front knee. And then forearm comes to the chair, reaching up and over. Take another breath here. And then come back to Warrior Two. Windmill the arms, plant the hands, step forward, and step back. All right, and then let's come back up to the top of the mat. How are you doing? Shake it out a little. All right. Now I'm going to step back with one foot. I'm going to come into a lunge. So here my back heel is off and my front toes and back toes are both facing forward, okay? Little bend in the front knee, little bend in the back knee. And then maybe I decide to raise my arms up. Maybe I decide to bend the elbows and the knee. Inhale, come back up. So you can stay here or bend and lower again. And back up. And then hands come to the back of the chair. I'm going to push off that back leg and just come forward a little. So now I have straight legs, okay? My feet are about hip width apart, but they're staggered. So one is forward and one is a couple of feet back, okay? And then here, I'm just going to start to lean forward. So I'm allowing my spine to be long, maybe starting to feel something happening in the back of that front leg. And then coming back up, we'll step forward and step back into that high lunge that we were in. Maybe reaching arms up, maybe bending your knee and up. Option to do that one more time and up. And then hands come to the top of the chair. Now press off or walk your feet up. So one's in front of the other. And then I'm just going to allow my upper body to come down. So this will start to bring some stretch into the legs. Nice. And then hands come onto the chair and we'll step back. Okay, a little bit of strength. Now, only do this if you have your chair and all four legs on a yoga mat so that if you push the chair, it won't move. Or you can do what I've done here is I have my chair up against a wall. So if I press into the chair, it's going to go into the wall. Okay. The other way you could do this is on the floor, on a table or on a wall. Okay. So, and if you were having your hands resting on the table, you can do that as well. The main thing is that my body's in a straight line. So if I was standing up, I'm in a straight line. And when I move forward, I'm also still in that straight line. I'm just leaning, okay? My hands are resting on the chair and I'm pressing down. I'm not pressing forward, I'm pressing down my body. Okay. See here about keeping your neck long. So if you feel like your shoulders are up here, then lengthening that neck and trying to keep that wide collarbone. So remember when we were doing this with our thumbs back, that helps to widen the collarbones. Want to try and keep that going here. So my feet are slightly back. The further back your feet are, the more weight is going to be in your arms. Okay. Same as if you're doing this by a wall, the further away your feet, the more it's going to put weight into your arms. So I'm just gonna be about this spot. My elbows are into my sides. Okay. I'm just going to bend and press. Bend and press. Let's do 2 more of those. So I'm making sure that I'm not dropping my hips when I do it. I'm keeping my bum slightly back. Good. And we'll release and let that go. And let's just shake out the wrists, shake out the body. Maybe bring some noise into it. Please tell me I'm not the only one doing this. All right. Let's come back to our chair. All right. So I'm sitting up tall. My feet are on the floor. If you can, back comes away slightly from the backrest. Just helps you again to engage your core muscles. And then let's take an inhale, arms come up. Exhale, hands come to your heart. Twist to one side. And back to center, and then the other side. And back to center. Nice. Okay. All of us are going to turn so that we are facing one side of the chair. Doesn't matter which one. And then, so you can see, my hands are going to reach back for the closest corner of the back of the chair. Okay. And then I'm going to keep my legs together, my feet are together. Okay, so that will make sure that my lower body stays facing the side wall. And then, depending on where my hands go on the back of the chair, I'm turning my upper body back. So I'm slowly walking my hands towards the other corner of the chair. And for me, my hands are not that far back, okay? The point of this is not how far back your hands go, but having a twist. So if I was to not keep my legs together here, if I let them open up, oh sure, I can get much further in my twist, but I'm kind of cheating. So keep the legs together, and we'll just slightly walk the hands back till I feel like I'm getting a twist. Stay there. Most important thing is that I feel like I can breathe where I am. And same thing when you inhale, feeling like you're getting a bit taller. Exhale, maybe that allows you to deepen the twist a bit more. And then let's slowly come out of that. And then we'll walk our legs over so we're facing the other wall. Again, knees are coming towards each other. Sitting up tall, and hands go to the closest corner of the backrest. And then, like we did before, slowly walking my hands, turning to look towards the back wall. You might notice here that you have the ability to twist more or less than you did on the other side. Let's slowly walk the hands back. And then we'll come to the front. So just in that noticing that this feels good, this feels a bit too intense, noticing that my arms lift up more on this side than when I do it on this side, noticing, say that today when I was twisting, it felt a bit more restricted here than here. So it might be something in your body that you notice. You notice right in this moment, I am aware of this. And it's being in that moment that makes this yoga. So another thing that often happens to me when I'm doing yoga is that I start to think about something else. So I'm kind of going through the motions, but I'm not focused on my breath. I'm not looking at my hands. I'm not feeling how it feels, the air on my skin or the sounds in the room. Instead, I find I'm thinking about what I'm doing after I finish, or I'm thinking about what I did yesterday, or what someone said to me, or some issue that I'm dealing with. And that takes us out of the present moment. So those times in yoga when you catch yourself thinking not about what you're doing right here, but you thinking about something else, that's yoga. That's finding yourself in a moment and being in that moment rather than being in the past or the present, just being here right now. So let's end our practice by just having a little bit of stillness. So I'm going to take an inhale through my nose, open my mouth and sigh. Let's do that 2 more times, your speed. Bring my hands into my lap. You might now allow yourself to sit back onto the backrest of the chair if that feels comfortable. So I'm just getting into a comfortable space. And then I'm going to practice a counting mindfulness exercise. You can have your eyes open or your eyes closed. And if you'd rather not do this, you can just sit and listen to the music, sit and focus on your breath, sit and notice when you start thinking about something else, and then try and refocus on your breath or the way that your body is feeling in this moment. Another way to do this is to focus on counting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my palms up, my fingers outstretched. I'm going to close my eyes, and then I'm going to take an inhale and exhale. And after I do that, I'm going to fold one finger over. And then again, repeating that inhale, exhale, and at the bottom of that exhale, fold over another finger. So I'm going to do that all until I get all the way to 10. So all of my fingers are closed. And then I'm going to place my closed palms on my thighs. Okay? So I'm letting you know about that so that you can do this at your own speed. Some people breathe faster, some people breathe slower. So let's begin now. I'll cue you through the first 2, and then you can finish them on your own. So let's just take an inhale. And release. And then inhale 1. And exhale, fold over a thumb. Inhale 2. And fold. Keep going until you get to 10. Palms go onto the thighs. Just taking a few breaths here. And then you can stay here breathing for as long as you like. hands to our hearts. And give ourselves a round of applause. Thank you all for practicing. I hope that we can be doing this back in the drop-in center in person very soon. Until then, I wish you all the best, both to you and to the staff, and hope to see you soon. Be well.